Hello friends, it's Sarah. Welcome to another Dinkum build video, and this time we're going to be doing a little mini update to my marketplace. I realized after we made a bunch of changes to this area that I had not screen recorded any of it. So if you want to see a before, I will link in the description below a link to Dursey Games and the island tour he did of my island. And if you skip ahead to minute 55, you'll see the before. So anyway, we wanted to elevate this area over here where there's a cafe and create like a little river walk. So I invited my friend Sunnyann to come on over and help me because Dinkum is so much more fun with friends. And, she's super creative and was like, hey, I'm willing to help out with this. And I was like, free labor, let's do this. So yeah, she came over, and one of the challenges that I've currently been facing is how flat everything is for me on my island sometimes. And so I was just like, I like this marketplace area now. It's super cute, but everything being the same level is kind of boring. So let's lift this coffee shop area up a little bit and have it kind of look out over the river and see how that looks for us. And that's what we're doing here, is kind of building up an area, a couple squares up, as like the patio platform area for our little coffee cafe area here next to the marketplace. I used several of the new items in a section you'll get to see in a little while, but some of the new baskets of food and things like that. So it was a lot of fun to create these like little cafes and bistros and shops. Now that we have placeable food to put down, which is super exciting. So yeah, here we go, kind of making a platform. There's a lot of discussion that we have where it's like, should we do this? Should we do this? So I try to cut all that stuff out where we're just kind of standing around thinking and planning, because, that can be kind of boring. And right there, Sunny's probably pulling something out and creatively, or looking at what we're going to do and going from there. But yeah, we were going to place a central step and then was like, no, let's do two. It's just helpful to kind of place things down, see if you like it. If you don't like it, we tear it up and we do it again. That's kind of the whole process with some of these build videos, is you kind of can see the behind the scenes of, well, nope, they tried that and it's not looking good. What now? Everything's kind of trial and error. We go in with like sort of a plan and then decide along the way that it's not working out. So here we're obviously sampling the different fencing to kind of put up, safety. Don't want our patrons of the coffee shop to fall off into the river. So you got to have some sort of fencing, something to block you from the crocos and all the things that can get you. And I think we ultimately decided to go with the rope fence because it's a little bit more, you can see the river through it. It's not as obstructive to the view. And it's literally one of my favorite items now in the game. Might have a more nautical theme to some, but I really like it. It's just an everyday kind of fence everywhere. And then we were realizing as we were putting items out that we didn't have enough space. And so it's like, well, we gotta add a row at least to kind of let that encapsulate the fencing area. And then that way we'd have a little bit more room for all the items we had previously had here, or at least some of them in some variation. So again, trial and error. You get to see the real life process here, guys. We're not just master builders or, fantastic architects. We figure it out along the way and, edit as we need. And I always forget to set out some lighting, even if it's lighting we're not going to use, because it's so dark at night when you don't have lights. And but here, luckily I put some lighting out. Thank goodness. You'll get to see what's going on the screen, and I can too. So we had stashed all of our items in a chest that we had pulled up as we decided to start, remodeling. And of course, it's time to sleep. Aren't we cute? So yeah, we get up and we just get immediately started with what we need to keep going on. I thought this build would be really short, honestly, and it took a lot longer than I expected, mostly just because, there's a lot of, we do one thing and then we set it all down and go, yeah, no, that's not looking great. And so we do it again. So, if I had a better plan possibly going in, that might not be the case. Who am I kidding? That's always probably going to be the case. Sorry, guys. That's just real life here. I had to tweak kind of the layout that we originally had for this because we elevated it and that, kind of gave us less room. I had to take some things out that I originally had and then add some things in different places, just trying to fit all the things and give the same feel that we originally had here on the platform. But yeah. I love that we have a register now because you can really kind of create that sort of market shop effect. It just adds another little detail. I mean, we survived without it, but it's great to have it now. I love the coffee cups. Actually, all the food items. It's one of my favorite things, these little details like this in any game that you get to utilize to help bring any kind of build to life and make it look like something, realistic, or as realistic as any kind of animated game will give you. So Sunny back there is working on the Riverwalk. Again, you guys don't always get to see what she's working on, but she's very diligently dirt printing back there for me and, getting the kind of the idea together of what it's going to look like on the Riverwalk. And I called her over to get her opinion. Hey, should we elevate these umbrellas or should we leave them on the ground? And we ultimately decided that they needed to be elevated. So that is what this little montage is about. And I'm a hot mess when it comes to picking up and placing things, clearly, as you can see. And I put down those stools because I was like, these would be cute tables too, and then promptly realized you can't place anything on them. So I scrapped that idea super fast. Again, it's all about just getting the look you're going for and picking up and putting down items, which we do a lot of. Seeing as how I live in Texas, I should probably at some point somewhere on my island create a San Antonio Riverwalk area, like a replica of it. It seems appropriate. This little area here where we do have a Riverwalk around the marketplace, not really anything like the actual San Antonio Riverwalk. If you've ever been there, you'll know what I'm talking about. It would be fun to make that and place bridges periodically and put out the umbrellas for all the tables. I wish we had all the different colors of umbrellas. Maybe I'll wait and see if we get that at an update and then do the San Antonio Riverwalk replica, because there is a restaurant on the Riverwalk that has all these tables with umbrellas and they are all multicolored and it's really cool. It's very eye-catching. In fact, you've probably seen pictures on the internet of this very space I'm talking about. So something fun for the future to plan for. We're all also deciding on fencing. I'm a visual person, as I've said in many other videos, and I need to see it put out rather than just decide in my head. And I think we went with the iron cement fencing because it gave the most urban look. Also, it didn't obstruct the view of the river because you've got these wrought iron like poles that kind of give you a lot of visual space in real estate. So again, just trial and error, guys. Then I decide, don't like this pathing we've put down. I think it needs to be more sidewalk-esque. And so here come the cement path. We're gonna cement all the things. Because, pave paradise and put up a parking lot. Why not? So this whole back part of the flower shop area was kind of a mess when I was doing my marketplace originally. I only went back so far, and I tend to be more of a perspective builder sometimes, especially with things like this, where I know eventually I'll add on to it, but I can't do it at that particular time, or I don't have an idea in mind, so I just leave whatever's back there. So this part of the build is kind of us cleaning up this back area that's going to be part Riverwalk, part park area, trying to make it more urban. Here I'm deciding, do I like the lampposts or do I want to add the festoon lighting and kind of create that outdoor cafe feel? And as you'll see, we're going to go with the festoon lights, but they're a little low to the ground. So we've got to raise them up. I hated to lose the trees back here, but then if you've got a, riverside cafe, you kind of want to be able to see the river. So it works out overall not having trees. I'm a big lover of trees. I typically put trees all over the place and keep a lot of the natural trees because I live in a forest and that's what I'm used to. And so that's what we go with. Yeah, we built it up a little bit. I opted to not go the entire full height of the platform, mostly because I like the varying heights of things. The umbrellas are a little higher. It may not make sense completely, but for some people are like, oh, I wish the lights were higher. Well, I think we ultimately decided we liked them lower level, so that way that there would be different heights for everything, because the umbrellas just straight on the decking just didn't look good to us. So anyway, it's time to sleep. Here we are, busy little bees, just getting to it like immediately. So yeah, we decide on keeping it one height down and putting out cement pathing, I think, to support them. It's unfortunate that we can't put anything under the festoon lights for decoration. I doubt very seriously in the future that'll ever be a thing. But it would be nice if we could have, and we had a little bit more room to sort of hide that, but I didn't want to push it out any further than it already was. So you make some compromises and things like that, and just live with the fact that it's not perfect. At least for me, I'm a little bit more forgiving. I know some other builders who are like, nope, got to change it and do it exactly the way I envisioned. And I applaud them for that. I usually am like, is that really something, is that a hill I want to die on? Or do I want to move on to completing this? And I usually just choose to move on if it's not too terribly off what I had hoped for in the first place. So here we're going to go about hiding all the stuff and then continuing the Riverwalk on, because eventually we'll probably add on to this area. And if you haven't already watched the build video for the Grauman's Chinese Theater, you should definitely check that out. That was a lot of fun. That was also inspired by some of the new items in the game. So here we are, just kind of moving some things, cleaning up, making it make a little more sense, and also we're going to create like a faux wall back here to hide all that and yet make a little park area for those who are walking along the Riverwalk, and it look a little more clean and put together while still giving that flower shop, boutique, marketplace area the semi-industrial feel that, some of these items being placed around, willy-nilly give it. Sometimes I want symmetricality and sometimes I don't care. And this is one of those instances where I was like, I need it to be symmetrical. So as you'll see here, I'm kind of playing with several different ideas on, trying to hide some of these things while keeping the items there, but also not super visible from every angle. There's me, queen of putting pathing exactly where I don't want it to go. I also kind of made like a spur of the moment decision to put the hedging up to kind of differentiate the spaces. And it's about here we had the decision to pull in some water and make a little koi pond. I say koi pond, but we're at the mercy of whatever fish will spawn in here after we dig it out. So yeah, this is us building this little pond area that we will eventually make into like a little park. You can't round anything off in the game, so you know, this is our attempt to kind of make it look less square while still making it manicured, and this is part of a city park area. I'm loving the new river reed seeds. I'm a little irritated that I have to plant them, but I guess that's about the same as anything, you know. But some of the things are placeable by just placing them down, and some things you have to dig a hole and bury the seed and let it grow. And I'm a impatient person, and I want things to be immediate. And so I wanted the river reed grass to be immediate as well. But, you know, at least we have it as an item, and bakers can't be choosy, so... Sunny didn't like that there was a one square path here, and as she pointed that out to me, I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Let's build this out and make it even. And so we did a quick little detour of what we had been working on to come over here and do this, and then I decided to kind of cut some of this back so that it would look a little less crowded right here on the riverfront. Not necessary, but aesthetically, I liked it better, so that it wasn't almost touching. I gotta say, I think the mangrove trees are the most annoying and my least favorite, just because they grow like literal weeds unless you change out the dirt from mud to dirt. Wow, that was a really weird roundabout way to say that, but I think y'all know what I mean. So here we're just kind of filling things in with, you know, trees and flowers and things you would typically see in like a little park area in an urban setting. I don't use the stone wand enough, and so I was really glad that Sunny suggested, hey, put some rocks out. And that way it'll kind of add to the more nature feel. Testing out lighting. I love the stone lanterns, but sometimes they don't fit with the kind of look you're going for, so they got scrapped. And we decided to just go with the classic glow buttons. They add such great soft lighting, and they also look really pleasing to the eye, so why mess with a good thing? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So here we're filling in this really awkward space that was truly vexing me in terms of what to do, because I didn't want to concrete the whole thing, and at the same time it was like, this is such a weird shape. What do we do with this? I liked the hedging, but it was too high. It was going to hide what we were hoping to put in there, which was just a flower garden, like something very simple, not terribly complicated. So we buried it one square to kind of make it more like an edging and less of like a fence. I'm not 100% sold on the idea, but I definitely like it better than everything else we tried to do. So, and again, symmetricality doesn't always matter, but in this instance, I was like, that light needs to be at the end of the road and not in the middle of it. So now we're discussing, you know, kind of sprucing up this Riverwalk area around the cafe, and we decided to sleep. And then the next day we were going to add some decoration around there to kind of liven it up a little bit, add some green and some plant life to just, flowers and ferns and bushes make everything better. This is a philosophy I will live by when it comes to Dinkum. So we were going to sink the flower boxes one step down from ground level. And instead of using lighting, like street lamps or anything like that, I decided to use the campfires because I didn't want an obstructed view, but I did want that soft glow at nighttime. And two, the smoky effect is kind of nice. And we caught ourselves on fire a little too much because we're a little klutzy. There's another issue we discovered in multiplayer here lately, and it could be because we're using the dev code, but maybe other people have experienced it, where when you're putting out flower boxes, Sunny was setting out flower boxes, and I was doing some other stuff, and she was like, these flower boxes are all already filled with flowers from what I could see. And of course, as you see here on the screen, they look empty. So that proved challenging when it came to actually placing plants later, because she was like, everything is already full. And we had this issue on her island the other day when we were playing, where I was trying to help her with her flower boxes, and I was like, they've already got stuff in them. What do you want me to do? I can't take them out, because when I tried to take out whatever was in there, it would literally just pick up the flower box. So I don't know if that's just a weird multiplayer glitch, or if it's a weird multiplayer glitch if you're using the dev code. I don't know. If you've had that problem, leave a comment and we can all commiserate together. So she was like, you're going to have to place most of the flowers because I have no idea. They all look full to me. And I was like, oh, fun. Okay. She's the resident flower expert, really, because her family used to own greenhouses. And so I kind of defer to her sometimes when I really don't have a definitive vision. I'm like, here, what do you think we should do? And so she suggested using the jackaroo paw grass because it's got a hint of red. And since our umbrellas have the red and white theme going on, I don't know, there's a nice tie-in with the white flowers. I just wanted a lot of green. Since we had taken away the trees, I needed to get that greenery back somehow, and this was it for me. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just standing there, taking a break. So anyway, this is my updated marketplace. Again, if you want to see the before, you should check out Jersey Games' tour of my island. I will leave a link in the description. But I'm enjoying it. I think it's cute. I think it turned out great. I like that we elevated the little cafe. I think it really changes the look of things. I tend to design very flat, and I need to use elevation a lot more in my island builds. And so this was a good start for that. And I like me a good Riverwalk. I hope you guys do too. I hope this little build inspires you to do something great on your island. Please share on our Discord any pictures of anything that you do, and show off what you create. I thank everybody for tuning in and watching. I really appreciate you guys. That's going to wrap up this video. So I'd like to leave you with, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. I thank so much, guys. See you in the next one.